I started to wonder, like, as these conversations became more and more prevalent, like, why are people my age telling me they're falling apart? And like, oh, I'm not falling apart. And I wanted to understand that. And it turns out that there is nothing in your genetics that tells you to age or to die. So why do we? And that's what prompted me to write the book.
So I've been telling my listeners that I'm going to be here till 120, and
Very possible.
They're upset with me.
Why?
They think that that's crazy because I'll be here alone, and I'm okay with that. Except I got to this chapter about being antisocial.
I'll be here with you.
Oh, you will.
I'll be right here.
All right, so we'll be cool listening to Drake, who probably won't be here. Anyway, all right. No, I'm joking. Hey, Drake. But you said if you're antisocial, that's not good. So
it's not good.
All right, so I got to work on that. Yeah. I got time though. I got time.
It's not good. Well, if you have a close group around you, it's okay.
As long as you have one or two
need connection.
Good duties and good duties, you'll be good.
That's right.
Okay.
It's about connection and what it does for your brain, and then how subsequently the brain affects your body as you age.
That stuck out because we're in a generation where people do not communicate or know how to, right?
Yeah.
So I teach a bunch of kids at Hunter College, and each year I'm learning that the way they even, socialize is all through some sort of device.
It's so true.
Like, to have a conversation. So I force them to have conversations. And it's awkward and weird, but by the end of the semester, there's like a light bulb that goes on. So I know that must be a physiological connection to people being able to look in someone's eye, and have a meaningful
study after study after study about it. Look at babies. If you don't hold babies, they can develop severe mental illness and personality disorders. Like, it's physiological to have the connection, even skin on skin, a mommy and a baby, eye contact, an emotional connection with another human being. We are social creatures. And you would think like, well, what does this have to do with the gray hair on my head or the wrinkles on my face? A hell of a lot. And in fact, the way that we think and feel affects the shape of our brain, literally, right? The parts of our brain that manage emotional regulation, impulsivity, mood, and so on. And then your mood not only affects how you behave, right, which is going to dictate the outcome of your reality, but also your physiology. So depression, for example, shaves your telomeres. Your telomeres are these little things at the end of your DNA strand that protect your body as you age, making sure that your cells are duplicating properly. When they don't, and you look at something like cancer, what's cancer? It's genetic mutation. It's a misfire.
Out of control.
Yeah. And so depression, right, can contribute to cancer. Well, what's going to help fight depression? Connection is just one component. So there's a lot of different things in the book, but this piece of that mind-body state and connection is a critical component, actually.
First of all, you might need to brush up on science to read this book. The 6 keys. I was going through it and I was like, wow, this is you have terms in here. I have to know nucleites and
nucleotides
and whatever. See, I don't even know. I know something about the nucleus and the protons, and then I was like, I had to go back to science, my science classes, and I was like, wow, Jillian, we're talking to Jillian Michaels, by the way. Oh, you went here on a technical, clinical, biological,
it's for real,
physiological. This is what. Well, Mary was 16 when she found out that it was not one of those kinds of books. Like you got to know some stuff, or at least be willing to look up terms in a dictionary.
Well, think of it like this, because here's what I did. As I worked with a co-author, which I very rarely do, who's a specialist in this category. And then we worked with, as a team, some of the top, they're called neuroscientists or doctors that study the process of aging and what ages us. So, I had to be right. We're making some very bold statements in this book that you can help protect your offspring from cancer by the way you're living now.
Wow.
Which, by the way, is true.
Well, so pause.
It's true.
Pause for a second. There was a study, Holocaust survivors.
That's your epigenome. It's in the book.
Right, I know. That's why
I'm bringing it.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So wait, none of the other people who you interviewed with?
Oh man, they didn't touch the book. Not at all.
The hell's wrong with these people here?
They're busy.
Am I the only one? That's why
busy.
my show's the top show up here, because I do my homework. Anyway,
They're busy.
Yeah, so am I. Okay, so are you. We're all
Fair.
busy, but why talk to somebody if you're not going to even do them the courtesy of cracking their book? Anyway, but yeah, thank you. I love my people. But yeah, so if you can trace trauma, right, genetically,
Yeah,
and
you
so
can.
why not pass along all these other things, right? So talk about that.
So that's what's called one of the 6 keys is your epigenome. Now here's a fancy term, but I break it down for you simply, right? So basically the epigenome is like the overbearing parent of your DNA. So it tells your DNA like, yo, you're going to be a bone cell. You're an immune cell, because all your cells have the same genetic information. So it tells your cells what they're going to become, and it tells them how they're going to express that. So if it's like you're a bone cell and you're going to look like this, you're going to look like that, you're going to do this, oh no, you don't get to express that. So when the epigenome is working right, it chokes off the bad parts of our DNA and it loosens up, quite literally, loosens up on the part that it wants to express itself. Now, your epigenome is also going to affect your genetics that you pass on to your offspring. So you think to yourself like, well, I smoked, but, I stopped smoking so my kids didn't get secondhand smoke. Well, you screwed up your DNA and you passed on some of that stuff to your kids. So they might be more predisposed to lung cancer, for example. So with the Holocaust, it can work for better or for worse, though. So Holocaust survivors actually passed on more resilience, emotional resilience, and a better ability to manage emotional and psychological stress to their offspring. So their experience now affects their DNA, because it affects their epigenome, which then affects their offspring. So anyway, bottom line is I had to get this right because I make some pretty significant promises and some pretty big claims, and we had to back it up. And so in the first half of the book, we explain these are the 6 things, right, that'll age you or can help keep you looking and feeling young and amazing for years to come if you follow the 5 processes, which is the second half of the book. So in the first half, bottom line is like if you're totally overwhelmed and I've lost you, follow the plan.
Right.
The plan's at the end of the book.
Right.
If you want to understand the science, which I hope you do, this is it, and that's the first half.
And I actually appreciate it because I didn't expect it to be so science heavy.
Has to be.
It made it more credible because I looked at it, I was like, another one of these.
No.
Follow these 6 steps. Blah, blah, blah. We've all read them. And particularly people like me who struggle with weight and, everything from the blood type to the Atkins. You read all of these
I can tell you that right now.
I know.
Why
well, you
is.
say that.
I address every single one in the book and why it's bullshit.
And so this made sense to me, but then I had a question, right?
Yes.
I have a bunch of questions.
Please.
We're talking with Jillian Michaels. Her new book is The 6 Keys. Unlock Your Genetic Potential for Ageless Strength, Health, and Beauty. I'm type A. You're type A. Right?
Very much so.
Okay.
Very much so.
I knew that immediately when you came in to this Lil Wayne stuff. I'm still working to not judge you. All right. I'm very focused when I'm focused, and there's really nothing I can't do. Right.
Yeah.
And anything I think about, I make it happen. This is one area that I haven't been able to do consistently. So in my lifetime, I've lost 60 pounds once when I was 16. I've lost 75 pounds once when I was like 25, which means I put it back on, right? I got 40 pounds off about 10 years ago, and then I've been struggling to get the next 30 and fluctuate, and I can't keep it off. And I know everything because I'm brilliant, right? So I know all of the
Well, you've lost weight, so we both know you can
right,
do
I can
that.
do it, right? So
we know you understand that.
What is it? I work out. I do, what is it?
Okay, well, then if you've already shown me that you understand the science of weight loss, then it becomes a psychological question, right? Look, I can make weight loss and weight maintenance and longevity very simple to understand. Eat less, move more, use common sense with your food choices. And then if you want to get more technical, like have the right balance of macronutrients because of your cells, which is in the book, which is why these fad diets are not good for long term. So protein, fat, carbs, the best quality versions. Don't overeat. You want to get crazy with it? Create a fasting period between dinner and breakfast, which is great for anti-aging, 12 to 16 hours, 16 max. And, throw some superfoods in there. It's wonderful. That'll help fight off the free radicals that age you. Has nothing to do with weight, by the way, but weight is thermodynamics.
Right.
It's the law of thermodynamics. It's math. It's calories in, calories out, and that's it. If we're going to get into health and longevity, then we start talking about the quality of your food, right? But that's weight. So exercise, what does it do? It creates an energy call. You're requiring more energy. So it's going to go into your stored energy, which is fat. So it accelerates weight loss. You don't eat so much. You burn more through exercise. Bing, bang, boom, weight loss. So, okay, you've lost it. We know you can lose it, but then you're putting it back on. And this is where you got to look at why. And
look at you being all gentle. So let me just say this.
I am, because when you confront people with shit like this, it doesn't always go well.
So I start off,
especially a woman who clearly has her shit together. So when I gotta tell you this, I'm like, oh God.
So listen, and this is why I had to stop you, because this is painful to watch. Jillian Michaels, look, I've seen you kick some people's asses and not even flinch. So it's fine.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Somebody this direct should be able to take somebody talking to them directly. I talk to people this way because I want people to tell me the truth. And you want to surround yourself with people who are willing to tell you the truth.
Let me just get
all right, so go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
We got some time. Okay.
We got some time. Tell me about myself.
So, well, all right, look. People engage in destructive behaviors or habits, right? Whether it's dating the person that's an a-hole, or spending money they don't have, or gaining weight, eating things they shouldn't, not because they're lazy, not because they're dumb, not because they're weak, because it affords them something. So, I don't know how you're going to feel about this name I'm about to bring up, but I'm not saying I like the person or I don't, but Dr. Phil once said people are fat because they want to be fat. And everybody went crazy, right? Is that true or false? You tell me.
I have a theory. Okay. You want to hear it? This is terrible. It's a terrible theory.
I doubt it. It might be.
No, it's horrible. So I'm going to can we do a warning or something? No, don't do a warning, because it's not parental guidance. It's just a warning. I'm going to say something really awful, but I do believe this.
Go.
You ready? Obese people are liars. So I say fat people are liars.
Okay.
And I believe that people who, they'll say, big bone, it's in my family, I don't overeat, I just, it's this, I'm a certain age, my metabolism's slow.
Okay.
So they lie, and it usually follows every area of their life.
Okay.
So people who are easily lying to themselves can lie to others, and, you have this condition because you are a liar. That's how I feel about it.
All right. I'm not going to subscribe to that one, but I will say you still didn't answer the question. Are they fat because they want to be fat? Yes or no?
I don't think anyone wants to be fat.
They do want to be fat.
Who wants to be fat?
I'm going to explain it to you.
Go
I'm going to explain it right now.
All right.
So he is right. And when we engage in these destructive habits, whatever they may be, right? I just listed several. It's because it affords us something. And I'll give you a perfect example. So there was a kid I was working with on The Biggest Loser years ago. He was like 18, and he came there with his dad. And they were losing weight, right? They were there a couple of months, and they both must have lost at least 100 pounds. And then the contestants would go home if it was around the holidays, and they would come back. And, we wouldn't necessarily say it's Christmas because the show would be airing in June, but it's like, we tested you to see how you do at home. So they go home, they come back, all of them come back, they're weighing in, and this one, lost 5, this one lost 7, this one lost 8. The dad gets on the scale and loses nothing. So I'm like, okay, let's see what's happening here. Son gets on the scale and he gains 5, 7 pounds, something like that. And immediately all the other contestants start co-signing the bullshit, right? It's like, it's so hard when you're traveling. Oh my God. And it was like, all right, stop. Everyone be quiet. So the next day I show up, I sit down with the kid and I'm like, tell me what happened. And he starts with I was in the airport and I packed my carrots down. I was like, right. Yeah, I know. It's like, there's no healthy food. I walked in the terminal and thinking of it so literally. I'm like, yep, get me to the next step. All right. He goes home. Okay. The door to the house flies open. Everybody's there. Friends, family, everybody. Whoa, yay, crying, tears. Mom is there, sobbing. And I don't mean tears of joy. So mom is morbidly obese.
She feels left out.
There you go.
Yeah.
So not only does she feel left out, she's afraid. She's like, oh my God, they're going to abandon me. They're going to outgrow me. She becomes depressed. She emotionally withdraws. So what does the kid do, right? He slams the brakes on his weight loss and he starts eating. What does the weight afford him? An emotional connection with his mother.
Right.
So does he want to be fat? Well, no. But he also is terrified of seeing his mother
not be happy,
emotionally
right.
withdraw, become
Right.
depressed and sad and pull away from him. So it's affording him something. So when people put weight back on, or they start smoking again, or they go back to the same asshole, am I allowed to say the same
No,
jerk?
You said the F word with the
Did I say that word?
with the Wayne song. But we're not going to bring that up again. We're not going to do that.
So the reason that people re-engage in this stuff is not because they're stupid, or not because it's because it's affording them something significant. So you're telling me like you've lost it, but you're putting it back on. I'm telling you it's providing you with something. I just don't.
Power? I don't know. I have to process
Could be
that.
control. It could be comfort. It could be a connection with somebody. It could be a million different things. But it takes a little time to dig in.
I guess I got to go to therapy.
But you don't necessarily. And by the way, like, you also don't always need to get to the bottom of that. Sometimes we bury it a bit too deep, and we are not willing to dig that shit up. But if you have a why, that's really powerful, right? So it's that quote of like, if you have the why to live for, you can tolerate the how, and the how is the work and the sacrifice associated with the goal. Then it allows you to tolerate that. So I always say, like, work without purpose is punishing, but work with purpose becomes passion. So if you're like, it's worth it to me because I, want to walk my daughter down the aisle. I want to meet my great-grandchildren. I want to live to see humans land on Mars. I want to run a 5K and raise money because I lost my sister to breast cancer. I want to wear a 2-piece instead of a 1-piece. I want to have sex with the lights on, which I think is greatly overrated. But you know what? Half the day is daytime. So by all means, make the most out of it. Like, I don't care. It doesn't matter what your reason is, as long as it matters to you. And then the second thing is that if it hurts you more to continue living the way you've been living, right? So really get out of that comfortable nom of like one foot in front of the other, living the shoulds of life, and wake your ass up. Like the show, like, get woke, wake your ass up. Like, how's it feel to like walk up the stairs and get winded, to feel uncomfortable in your own skin, or all those things, like, which is one of the reasons some of those contestants, I needed them to have a rock bottom moment. To really feel the pain of what they've been doing, because if it's more painful the way you've been living than the work and the fear associated with where you need to go, you'll move. Which is why that rock bottom can be such a solid foundation to rebuild on.
We're talking with Jillian Michaels. It's the Karen Hunter Show, by the way. 6 keys. The 6 keys unlock your genetic potential for ageless strength, health, and beauty is the book. As I was reading it, and the reason why I even threw that out there is because none of this will matter if you don't get to what you're talking about. So I can read this. And,
that is in there.
I can do the...
It's a different part of the book.
Right. So, but I'm saying, like, even getting to that, right?
Yeah.
To get to that, you've made us go through some things that... and because most people listening to my voice right now are living mindlessly, meaning that, that one foot in front of the other. You go to work, you come home, you feed, you eat.
The comfortable numb. That's what I call it.
Get to Friday, you have your things you do on the weekend. If you have children, you're doing that. And we're in this routine of life, and we're not connected to ourselves or others, which is what we're talking about. There's more disconnect, even though we have this internet, this vast, global way that we can all connect, but yet we're more disconnected than ever, and we're more obese than ever. Than ever. Because of this, right? And I think you're absolutely right. People don't tap into themselves. So what was the key for you, Jillian?
Well,
'cause you weren't always like this.
No. I was an overweight kid, and when we look at like, okay, well, what did it afford you? Well, control. I felt super out of control. My parents were in the middle of a crazy divorce, and it was like I had zero control. And it was like, I would remember thinking and I was bullied in school, and I was gay, and I didn't know it.
So what were they bullying you about?
I was overweight. I had a huge nose. I had terrible.
So this is not your nose?
Nah. Oh. And I gotta be honest with you. Like, for me, like, I don't judge people that do stuff like within reason, right? If you're not looking for a solution to your problems, you just don't like. I hated my nose, and it was pretty awful. Had it fixed and pretty happy with it. Had it done when I was 15, and they used to make fun of my nose all the time, and like braces and bad skin and chubby and like gay, and didn't know I was gay, which people would call me like gay slurs, and in my mind I was like, well, that's funny because I'm not. Little did I know, right? Kids know. So my parents, I would just like wait to get through school and think like I'm going to order a pizza. And I would literally like order a whole pizza and I would climb up onto the roof of my house and just sit there and eat the pizza like every day. Then I got older and I could drive and I know my Taco Bell order. And it was all I would look forward to. 3 bean and cheese burritos, no onions, extra cheese, 2 taco supremes, and then a diet soda. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. Literally, dude. Like, and it was routine. It was comfort. It was control. And my dad was obese. So it also, food was something that we would connect over, and we didn't connect over much. And then my mom got me into martial arts when I was 13 just because she was like, this kid needs an outlet. Like, she is angry. She needs a peer group. Anyway, my mom got me into martial arts, and over time, having that supportive environment. So I had a coach that believed in me when I didn't believe in myself, which is really important.
And I think
So
a
important.
lot of times people do get it
Yeah.
because of somebody,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So that's important.
I
that
try
we
to
have
be
a
that
somebody.
bridge, right?
Yeah.
So what I try to tell people is like, listen, if you picked up the book or you came to hear me talk or you did this or that because you believe I know what I'm talking about, and I've been doing this for a hot minute. So hopefully you believe, you've seen evidence that like I can do it for myself. I've done it for others. Then, I know what I'm talking about. Well, I believe that you are capable of this. And I know you're deserving because we all are. So if you believe in me, know that I believe in you. And it's like, you don't know me. How do you know? It's like, well, first of all, it's science. It's going to work on everybody. And second of all, I know that if you take the necessary action steps, you're going to get the results. So if you believe in me and I believe in you, by virtue of that connection, you believe in yourself. So I try to function like a bridge for them to gradually build their belief in themselves. And then as they take informed action steps, they get the results, right? And that's where they go, oh my God, if I'm capable of this, what else am I capable of? That's really the how-to of rebuilding self-worth. So I had that in karate. And then I got the tough love of like, hey, if you're not going to get it together, like, I don't want to waste my time on you. So I had that real rock bottom moment. And I was also given a why. Like, I wanted to look better. I wanted to feel better. I was sick of getting picked on in school. And it was that combination of like desire meeting like a rock bottom moment and having just the right amount of like support and tough love to push me, but to also believe in me. And that's, I think, where a lot of my approach was born.
Look, I got questions for Jillian Michaels, y'all. Don't be shutting me up. I got to ask her about Allie. Do you still keep in touch with her?
Allie Vincent from season 5?
Yes, because she had an amazing transformation, and then she gained it, and I've been watching her do marathons. She lost it again? Okay, with her mom, she was on with her mom.
She went through some stuff and put it back on.
Okay.
Yeah.